I'm Marina Abramovic. I'm a performance artist. I live in New York. You know, it's so interesting how different people doing different works, they have different geography. I was always fascinated about Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, who actually never left his village. And he wrote all these unbelievable, complicated books of philosophy, just being always in the same place. It doesn't need to that you need to travel physically. You can travel with your mind. But in my case, it was very particular. I have to always move because I am the work itself. So I become very soon in my career something called modern nomad. And I almost in no time, in less than 10 minutes, I can pack and move anywhere you want me to be. And just traveling and living in this kind of spaces in between everything is the way that I can only live my life. I don't think that I could be in one place more than, longest maybe 3 months, but I've never been anywhere longer than 3 months in entire career. You know, it's also see how where the work goes. It's one thing, but at the same time, it's also where my interest goes. For me, it's very important part, not just showing in the museums or galleries or, you know, in different manifestations like Biennales or Documenta. It's also important my research. So if I don't show my work, I research. I actually don't have holidays. My holidays are really research. I will go to deserts, I will go to the Tibetans or to Aborigines or to shamans in Brazil, or, you know, to see some rituals in Sri Lanka or South India. You know, I just love to learn, and I'm curious, and that really brings me to the most impossible places on this planet. And I always look for the place which is my favorite, who doesn't have electricity and Coca-Cola. And it's hardly any place left in the world without electricity and Coca-Cola. But when you ever find the places who are really pure and kind of, you know, clear from civilization, and you can see nature in the best way, that's my favorite places to be. First of all, I was much more interested in a kind of idea of the gift. And what is your gift and what is your purpose in life? That's one of the main questions. Even if I work, you know, with artists, young artists, and my students, I always ask them what they think is their gift, what they think they can do the best. You know, some people can do the best, you know, baking the bread or being the gardener or being the mothers, or some singers and some artists. But when you really have the gift, you have to be careful with this gift, and you have to see what is the best place, the best situation that you can actually exercise this gift and give to the others and other people. So my purpose is that I actually take care of my gift and give to the people. It's not something that one day you wake up and say, oh my God, now I have the gift. It's a gradually thing of really, I think the more getting old, more you have reflection and more you understand things in the past. I only know when I was very young and I had my first exhibition, I was 14 years old, that I could not do anything else. I never doubt, I never want to do something different. I always want to be an artist. I never think there was anything more interesting to me. So I knew that at least I didn't doubt. Many people doubt and spend lots of energy and time of doubting. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this is something better or something is less good. I don't know. Looking back, I had kind of straight line in my life. And even in the early stage, I didn't really know what I'm doing something. But I intuitively knew that I have to do it. But now looking back, after 40 years of career, everything looks like straight line. Everything actually leads to each other and become like a puzzle who have clear image. I only came later that you start understanding why you're doing things, what it's all for, and who are you. And I'm still, you know, still don't have all the picture together yet. First of all, performance is definitely not new. It's a very, very old. I mean, if you look the past when Fluxus happening, if you look into Futurist, they had the performances. If you look into Dadaist, Surrealist, all of them perform, except they didn't call that way. But performance you can trace for a long, long, long time. The idea of the people, really wanted to use the body to express something, except that we look is new, but actually it's not. Only now I can see the new thing is the performance become part of the mass media, but before it was always there. We always didn't been treated well, and we was completely disregarded as any kind of form of art. But doesn't mean that it didn't exist. Always exist. I always see the performance like Phoenix is coming, is get born from their own ashes, and they burn again and get born from more ashes. And performance so much is barometer of society. Every time is economical crisis, performance come up because it doesn't cost anything, then the art become commodity, then performance disappear, and so on and so on. It's such a difficult form of art because it's immaterial. So what you can sell with performance, you sell memory. It's not easy. My favorite moment in art history about selling immateriality was a gesture of E. Klein in 1956, which he sold on the bridge to the collector on the bridge of Seine in Paris. He sold to the collector artist sensibility. And the collector said, how much? And he said the price. He write the check, give him the check, he take the match, burn the check, ashes go to the river. Nothing happened. And this was a pure, the most pure, most radical selling immaterial art ever. I always believe there is no future. I always believe there is no past. I always believe there is only present. We always see as future as something different, but actually past, future, present is all one thing. To me, I learned from Aborigine the best lesson ever. When I would live there and they would show me landscape and they would tell me the song lines, the history of that landscape, they would tell me, oh, you see this, 3 rocks and 6 trees. He said, there is a lizard man fighting the rainbow woman. But they will tell the story of that landscape, not in the past that it happened, not in future is going to happen. It's always happening, it's always present. And I really start thinking about this. So I don't think about future as the future. I think the present is always happening. Everything is always happening. Everything, actually, past, present, future is one thing. And I think what we are always doing, huge mistake as human beings, is to constantly think of future as something separate from us, or think about past that happened. Actually, what we forgot to do is to live in present. And that's the only reality we ever have. How we can think of future when meteorite can fall from the ground, from the sky, and everybody's dead in 1 second? We don't know future. We don't know what's going to happen. And we are missing living now. We only have to talk about this present. I have to think about future. Yes, I have to think about money, how to get them to make the institute. That's true. But in the same time, institute is legacy. And by building this legacy now in the present, I hope that the young generation of artists will actually take these ideas and bring into their own time when they live. And I don't know if it will happen or not, but right now we just had this wonderful event in Greece, which we have a complete, breaking record, 50,000 people participating and 29 Greek artists performing in the time, which is a huge crisis in Greece, problems with refugees, economical disaster, and so on. And we understood that the culture is such a necessity, it's not luxury. And we see that Institute actually is happening without me. Our logo is, you don't come to us, we come to you. So wherever you are, we are there for you. The Kickstarter was amazing for me, the new really idea about actually having some kind of thermometer of society to see how normal person who can give anything from $1 to 25 to 10,000 maximum actually like to have this institute existing. So it was a barometer to see if the people really want me to have this institute. And I was so surprised that we put the amount that we want to raise 600,000, and we got in 1 month 620,000, even more than we asked. And the people more than 4,000 people give the money. And then we have to also make rewards. And I was very happy with rewards. They're only material. They're not rewards that you get T-shirt or like whatever, or signed book. Rewards are like I'm looking in your eyes for 1 hour, or I'm hugging you for $1, or everything is to do, about the experience. And the people who give $10,000, we don't mention them and we don't give them anything. And to me, it was really very Buddhist experience. If you give already this amount of money, you're giving because you believe in something, not because you want reward. So this was like a kind of test. But unfortunately, this money only paid for the plans of architects. And then to build all things, 31 million. So this was all new kind of, phase of founding. And we understand that we will lose so much time in looking for that amount of money. And institute will never work, and I'm not getting any younger. So then we started to look into different solutions. If you look in the past, the mostly founding in the past, from Renaissance on, was the kings, the popes, the Vatican, the aristocrats, and now is industry. And it's very difficult to work with the fundraising, which is private. So I always believe that somebody have to love the project, have to think that this project is great and they will bring something new to humanity, and just offer the money. And if this doesn't happen, nothing happened. We would just do work without any funding. You are the kings. You have the names. It's not anybody who buy the arts. Let's say Lang Museum in Shanghai, where they buy Modigliani. And it was so interesting to me to see this amount of money when everybody knows the Modigliani never cost that much money. You can buy them for 30 million, but why to buy 175? Why people give this a huge amount of money to be recognized in public media more than actually the value of the work is? It's very interesting, the reasons. Now you in the banks, you can get, your banks send you the letter saying that this and this artists are emerging and you should invest in them because it will be good commodity. This never happened before. In my time in the early 70s, if somebody told me I will live from my art, I would not believe. I was doing art because I could not do anything else. It was like a breathing. I wake up in the morning, I have ideas, I have to do them. I never questioned, do I have to sell them or not? It never crossed my mind in those days. This is why I really love the book of Patti Smith, Just the Kids, because then I'm so nostalgic in this period of 70s when really art is done art, because that was that was complete belief what art is, never thinking about this other side which become now. I don't think is not good, but at the same time should not be just that, should be more than that, but became very much commodity, unfortunately. No, it's close to investment, not entertainment. Entertainment is just one side effect. But excuse me, if you buy one work from the young artist who is whatever, $10,000, and then a few collectors buy the same work and then manipulate sales of the same artist for 150, and then next year is 1 million, and after this is 5 million, we are talking serious money. It's not entertainment. It's really commodity. But there's lots of manipulation behind all that. Entertainment is Donald Trump. Only one time the Adidas approached me, and I probably made less money with Adidas than anybody else will make. And this is same like Vatican would ask Michelangelo to make Pieta. What's the difference? It's only now they are industry, and I don't know. I've been criticized so much about this, but I don't see any problem, because I made a work who didn't compromise at all. What the concept of the work was, to me, very clear. The statement was really, the statement of the work was important. Work was about togetherness and collectiveness and how we can change the world if we stick there together. This was the whole idea of the work. And also the money went to help the institute, who actually stands for these ideas. Have healthy compromises to society. Don't lose your soul, follow your intuition, and don't make idol of yourself, and don't compromise to the market. That's my suggestion.